In 1886, Professor James L. Nichols, class of 1880, authored The Business Guide, or Safe Methods of Business. At the time, the institution was known as Northwestern College. Nichols was principal of the institution's Department of Commerce. It was a program that gained a national reputation as a result of the book. The institution's first president, A.A. Smith, wrote a foreword to the book. Today, grounded in a long and rich history, North Central College continues to be a leader in business education. On episode 12 of 1861, the North Central College podcast, our guest is Dr. David Green. He is the Paleka-Thomson Dean for the School of Business and Entrepreneurship. We'll talk about David's background, his journey to North Central College, his endowed deanship, and some remarkably exciting accreditation news for business education at North Central. So a rich opportunity here to talk about business on episode 12. And with that, we say, welcome to Dr. David Green. Hello, David.
Hi, Jim. Thank you for having me.
It's so great to have you on. And the timing couldn't be better with the recent news. And of course, we'll talk about that soon. And I know that everybody around campus, including your colleagues in the School of Business and Entrepreneurship, are just so incredibly excited about that. And the opportunity to talk about that in an extended way like this, I've really been excited all week to be able to talk about this. But thank you. Thank you for being on the podcast. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
So, David, why don't you, I want folks to have the opportunity to get to know you, get to know who you are. So tell us a little bit about your background. Where did you go to school?
Where did school? So
where did you school? Let's start there. Yeah.
I went to school, went to college in Morehead State University in Morehead, Kentucky. I'm originally from Kentucky. I grew up in a small town called Salyersville, Kentucky, in the southeastern part of the state. Morehead State University is a public university and wonderful school. I majored in business and computer information systems, so it's the intersection of business and technology, and had a great experience there. I went on, completed a master's degree, my MBA at Morehead State. And at the time, I had an important faculty member and mentor of mine who encouraged me to consider going to graduate school to pursue a PhD. And at that point, I went on to Southern Illinois University at Carbondale and completed a PhD in business administration with a focus in management information systems. Mm. And that's my sort of educational background. And then I went back to my alma mater in Kentucky and taught as a faculty member for a couple of years, and moved to another school in the area for several years, and then found myself now at North Central College as Dean of the School of Business and Entrepreneurship, which has been a wonderful experience.
Yeah, and it's so great to have you on campus. And you've been here now for a couple of years, right?
Yeah, so almost 2 years now.
Yeah, it goes fast, doesn't it?
It does.
So, David, along the way, did you have the opportunity to teach in the classroom at all?
Oh, definitely. I taught many classes. I love teaching. Part of my undergraduate degree was also, I had a double major in business education as well. So I had the opportunity to try teaching at the high school level. So I did this student teaching semester at that point and decided, well, this is a great experience, but maybe not my career path. So then I did teaching in, as a faculty member at the university level, teaching anything from programming and coding and C++ and things like that to systems analysis and design and human computer interaction, as well as a lot of other business classes. But many of them had a technology focus. And then I also moved into information security and organizations and policy. But overall, the overarching sort of theme is information systems technology and how people interact with technology and systems to do what they do in life, whether in the workplace or individually.
It's perhaps a little bit of a unique pairing in some ways, and yet business these days hard to operate without technology, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's prepared me well to, to experiment with many different technologies for my own personal use, but as we're considering adopting things and in the classroom as well. I love teaching. It's in working with students on projects, uh, trying new things, whether it's technology, working with clients, so the students have that experiential learning as well.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's great skills to have, and with all of the conversation these days about AI on top of it, it seems like just a very natural a natural connection. David, I'm curious to know, and I think our listeners would be curious to know, uh, why did you teach? Why did you want to teach at the college level? And then uh, why would you want to be a dean at a college? I think there's a particular calling there. Tell
Right.
us about your journey. Why?
My why, yeah, that's
Yeah,
I I've always loved teaching. I mean, I've actually, even before I was teaching as a faculty member at a university, I was teaching at a church, and it's like Sunday school, and working with
mm,
doing programming, sort of like youth programming,
yeah,
and so I've always loved the aspect of let's learn something new, and how can I plan that out in the best way so that the students or the people that I'm working with of all ages can meet a learning objective that we want to achieve, whether it's in 1 hour or 16 weeks. So that's always been my it's something from very early on that's been part of me. So it's just that's always, I feel like I've always been an educator in that way.
yeah,
I never aspired to be a dean.
mm,
I think most faculty that get into this academic and
yeah,
higher ed, don't aspire to become a dean or even a department chair. Sometimes
right,
we do this because we love this, and I love this.
yeah,
I ended up getting into academic administration because I saw there were opportunities to sort of make a bigger difference when you can think about strategic planning and larger scale curriculum and programming and student success sort of things as well. How can we make sure that our students are prepared, are supported, in addition to in the classroom? Are there ways that we can support them outside the classroom? And I saw that the way to do that is to become first a department, or what I was first a division chair. And then I was also heavily involved in enrollment tied to graduate programs like
sure,
the MBA program and
yeah,
some accreditation things. And I actually realized that there's some challenging aspects to it, but I love the the part where we're thinking about strategy and working as a team to achieve specific goals. And that's why I became a dean and wanted to become a dean and lead a team of faculty in different disciplines and departments with a single focus and mission, and holding our values. Yeah, it's been a journey, and
yeah,
I love very fortunate to love what I do.
yeah, and it shows, David. It seems like you're such a natural in the role.
Okay.
When in the introduction, and I always want to make sure that I get this right. You are the Paleka-Thomson Dean for the School of Business and Entrepreneurship. That's the first endowed deanship on campus. What does that mean?
It's huge. It's definitely a proud moment for North Central College, but also for the School of Business and Entrepreneurship. There
Yes.
are not many endowed deanships at universities, period. So I
Mhm.
think that's one thing we should be proud of, and to have
Yes.
um, Tom Paleka and David Thompson. Tom is an alum,
Yes.
and David Thompson, who's a member of the SB advisory board, and to invest in the future of the School of Business and some of our strategic priorities in this way is significant. And we've already, in the short time that the endowed deanship has been in place, we've been able to do some wonderful things to advance our mission and to support students to experiment with new ways to recognize our students and our honor students, to support students for things like competitions in tied to their professional organizations in ways that now involve more students. So it's been exciting. I think it's just the beginning of that process. So I really appreciate the support, and that North Central has such wonderful alumni and community support. And it's something that I found in my short time has just been a great thing to meet alumni and to see how they want to connect and give back to North Central.
It really is remarkable. It bolsters the entire leadership paradigm, I'm sure, for you. Of course, you mentioned Tom is an alum. Tom is also a trustee of the college, somebody that we see on campus frequently, as we do with David, and so quite an honor for you. It's what a year for business at North Central, David.
It is.
When I think about,
it is.
We began the year with the announcement of the deanship, and we are closing out the academic year with some very, very exciting news. I will not steal your thunder. Tell us what that exciting news is.
The exciting news is that we are now AACSB accredited in business, and AACSB is the Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Business. It's a 110-year-old organization. It's one of the oldest accrediting organizations and largest. It's an international organization that accredits schools of business and their business programs. It's considered the gold standard. North Central started the process a few years ago, and it's a long and rigorous process tied to quality and continuous improvement to ensure that you're doing the things that a good business school that is mission focused should be doing. So we are following our mission. We have a strategic plan. We're using our resources well. We have the things like our curriculum is aligned with industry and the sort of the needs of our students and the community today. We also have to assure that students are learning and meeting the knowledge, skills, and abilities that we say they are to individual programs. So we were actually commended on that piece of it, which was not a very common thing for a school to say. You're commended on your assurance of student learning. So that was a very proud piece of that, and I just commend our assurance of learning coordinator Sarah Castelny and the chair of our Department of Accounting for that, and our accreditation coordinator for Gwendolyn Tedeschi for that as well. We have the best faculty, and because of that, faculty is a big part of that too. So one of the standards we have to meet is faculty are maintaining currency in their field, so they meet their qualifications, and it continues over time. And we also look at AACSB also looks at scholarship, things like how is the research the faculty are doing, is it tied to your mission, is it making an impact? So we have faculty that are publishing peer-reviewed journal articles that are being cited in policies that are being made by municipalities and governments. We have faculty that are published case studies in journals that are have thousands of downloads, so they're being used by faculty at other institutions. So some of that impact that's broad and showing that we, in certain areas, are thought leaders in things like our Center for Financial Literacy and the Coffee Lab, which were both also commended as areas of excellence for North Central with AACSB. And are we making a positive impact on society? So we have a societal impact focus area. So connecting students in a way that is making a positive impact. So it's very exciting. This is just a point of pride, and it's been definitely a team effort. I mentioned two of our leaders, our faculty leaders in that role that helped us
Yes.
with this. But every faculty member in
Yes.
the School of Business and Entrepreneurship, and then faculty and staff across campus are involved as well. It was a big campus visit when that looks at student success and admissions and even alumni, and are your students successful after they graduate and leave North Central, and are you following up with that? So it's a great time for North Central. It has been a big year, and I've just couldn't be prouder of the achievements that are happening, and definitely setting us up really well into the future as we're looking. We're not stopping at this point. We're looking to continue to improve and even reach higher than we are now. So
yeah, it's wonderful, David. Congratulations! It's such an amazing achievement. You. Here in the last couple of weeks, I saw somewhere something that you had shared, and I think it would be good to share with our listeners here on the podcast. Set the context. So AACSB, you've said it's the gold standard, and that's great.
Yeah.
But there aren't very many schools that have it. And when we think about various constituents, right, we're in an athletic conference. We often compare ourselves to schools in the conference. We're part of some associations.
Right.
This is an international organization. So, David, here's an opportunity to boast.
Can I boast? Yeah,
I want you to boast.
I'm also I have a competitive streak too, so I really like to I like to brag and share in this pride. Yeah, AACSB is only held by fewer than 6% of business schools worldwide. So many schools see that the bar is too high, so they don't even try it. And then many schools try it and then they don't achieve it. So we're joining a pretty elite and small group of business schools on an international scale. So that's the fewer than 6% of schools have this accreditation. So we should all be proud, whether you're a business major or alum or not. This is something that's important for North Central. As far as the other points of pride to brag about, we are now the only school in our athletic conference that has this accreditation. And there are some other associations. There's a local a private university, Chicago area private university, nonprofit association. We are only 3 of, I believe it's about 14, 15 schools that now have this accreditation. So that's more of a regional one. Then there's another organization, the New America Colleges and Universities, that has a really strong set of schools nationally that are similar to North Central in many ways, but there's less than a third of those schools that have achieved this accreditation. So this is one additional marker, and I know my colleagues in other departments in the College of Arts and Sciences and School of Education and Health Sciences, they've achieved program accreditations throughout the years. And so this is one additional accomplishment that is very difficult, and because it is institution based. One of the differences with AACSB, even though it is for business programs, they accredit our institution for the business programs that we offer. So they look at many things beyond just the business departments and the School of Business and Entrepreneurship.
It's that really helps to set the context, and I'm glad that you didn't hold back. It's really, really important. Boast away. You should.
I'm going to boast even more. Once I get some more facts and figures, I will continue to boast. And I think that's an important part of it.
Yes.
And just sharing how unique and special this is and what an achievement it is. And I was not part of this when this first started. We've had a lot of faculty
Yes.
who, and the former dean who helped start this process. And it's been a journey that has resulted. And one thing that I saw when I came to North Central immediately, even before I started, I saw the quality was here and it was going to happen. So the quality of our programs, the quality of our faculty, the quality of our students, and the programming and impact that they're making is already there. It's just making it happen.
Well, and David, and correct me if I'm wrong, but our president is now finishing up his second year, but he was the provost when this started. And he often talks about this really being a decade-long process. Let's not undersell that. 10 years.
Definitely. I think there were and I've heard many stories like that. Yeah, definitely with GP.
Yep.
The discussions that were had, is this something that we, strategically as an institution, we want to pursue?
Yes.
And how do we get there? So I think over the years there were a lot of discussions. There were outreach and visits to conferences and talking with two other schools. What does this take to make this happen? And then at some point the decision was made. Yes, we are moving forward with this, and this is how we'll get there, and ensuring that we hire the right faculty, that we retain the right faculty in terms of qualifications, that we ensure that our programs, like I said, are aligned with industry and professional standards as needed. So there are a lot of things that takes years and takes multiple years, even just to get to the process where you can begin the formal part of the accreditation process.
David, we're recording this at a time when we have just completed commencement. I couldn't help but notice the number of both undergraduate and graduate students who walked across the stage from the School of Business and Entrepreneurship with various majors, various degrees out of that. And 10 years is a long time, but at the top of the podcast, I mentioned the Nichols book, and I think you have a copy of it.
I do have a copy.
Watching on YouTube, you have to show the book.
Yeah, I have to. So as soon as I heard the story about James Nichols,
look at that. That's amazing.
I had to get a copy of this book. There were not many colleges and universities that had anything like a business school. That wasn't even a concept at that time. I mentioned AACSB is only 110 years old.
Exactly.
So having a Department of Commerce and a commerce program in the 1880s, and a faculty member who made such an impact, we have a long history connected to business, especially with our mission as a liberal arts core. We have evolved as an institution into a university through the years with many graduate programs. Yes. And it's special. So I share this story a lot. So I'm glad you mentioned the Nichols connection at the beginning, because I think this was not a new thing for North Central in terms of having tied to industry, even with our strong liberal arts core as a college.
History matters. I just think it does. I think having a tradition of teaching it all the way back nearly to the founding of the institution, you can just see that. And I think that transitions to the next question, or the next set of questions, David. There are certainly plenty of members of the alumni family out there from over the over the decades who graduated earned business degrees from this institution. What does this accreditation mean for them? What does it mean for the students right now who are earning their degrees, who just walked across the stage? What does it mean for the high school kids or the kids who are getting a year or two at community college and planning to transfer here?
Mm-hmm.
Crystallize what it means for them to choose a place like North Central that has AACSB accreditation.
That's the question, I would say. That's the important question. For our current students, this is a sign of, immediately, that this is a sign that you're in a high quality program. So we are assuring that we're continuously improving everything from the curriculum, looking at our faculty, and all the things that we do as a good business school. The way that will help them immediately as well is many corporate partners, companies, will only do formal relationships in terms of campus recruitment and work with the school in other areas only if you're an AACSB accredited institution. So that will help with finding internships in the future. That will help with employment opportunities. And students can also talk about this, as well as alumni, if as you're on your resume, if that's something you want to talk about in interviews, because it is a signal. It is something that employers know and understand. Is the school? It is definitely an external sign that someone outside of your own institution says that you have high quality programs.
Yes,
and you're continuously improving it. So it's one additional data point that current students who are graduating, and definitely our alumni can speak to. Alumni, just because you graduated last year or the year before, you graduated from an AACSB accredited business school and business program. So this is applicable to you as well. So keep that in mind. This is also important for many of, it's usually more at the graduate level with like MBA programs and tuition. Many companies will do some form of tuition support or tuition reimbursement. And oftentimes AACSB accreditation is one of those things that they require a school to have. Right. And so this is, that's definitely a benefit. It helps us recruit faculty and high quality faculty. We've been fortunate to recruit high quality faculty, but it's always a challenge. And every business school, large and small, faces this. But it's a challenge to find faculty that have the right experience, the right degrees, that are doing the things and are great teachers, which is exactly our mission as our teaching mission and mentorship focus. We want the best faculty in all of those areas, but it's a challenge because every other business school are competing for the same faculty in accounting and finance and economics and management and marketing. So it helps us that because many and it's been shown that schools that have accredited, and I've had this experience before as well at other schools, that the pool of candidates that apply because they also see you as a high quality institution, and so they know that this is a good place. There's so many more things. I mean, just visibility and distinction. Of course, we talked a lot about the distinction, and this is something that helps show like what category of quality we are in. It also puts us into certain more visible lists for some of its publicity and marketing and that sort of thing. But it's also super helpful as a college. And I think just when we're looking at North Central College as a whole, and you see all the things that are happening in all areas, it's one additional signal of the great things that we're doing to stay current and looking into the future. So I think there's a lot more that we can say about it, but I think those are the key points that I
Yes.
think our students and our alumni can take away.
David, one of the things that you've done in your time here is to build a very strong advisory board. People who are part of the business world, who you meet with regularly, you interact with them. I would have to imagine that they are celebrating too. But I think the hook for me is, what did they say? What does the accreditation mean to them? And then how does that translate to a benefit for our students?
The advisory board is very excited about that.
Yes.
And they've been part of the process
Yes.
early on, and that was one of the first things I did when I started at North Central was create an advisory board pretty rapidly. Put together a board, and very fortunate to have such strong supporters of the School of Business and Entrepreneurship. They were part of the campus visit for accreditation. We had a reception with the advisory board, and we had a great turnout. And I was so proud because they went around and talked about their individual connections to North Central. We have some alumni on the board. We have some people who are not alumni, but they support North Central in many other ways, financially and giving of their time and hiring our students. So I was so proud in that moment when we went around the room in front of this. It's a peer review team from 3 other business schools. These are deans of other business schools that actually came to campus.
Yep.
And they talked about North Central. So they're definitely proud. They understand the significance of this, especially when they see this is the group of universities that have business schools that have achieved this accreditation, and we've now joined the list. And it helps them when they're advocating for North Central to explain how we are different and I would say distinct, one additional distinction for North Central compared to some of our peers. Yep. So that's something that and then we also have a student advisory board, which I was very proud of.
Yes.
And we meet regularly as well, but they met with the accreditation team and just very proud of their interactions as well. But they advocated and shared their role as a student advisory board member is to advocate for the school as well, but also advocate for students to try to find ways to improve the student experience within School of Business and Entrepreneurship. So they were involved in the process. They met with the peer review team, and we've had a great. What I found is the advisory board, and I think it's continued to grow a little. To grow both the student advisory board and the industry advisory board. They love North Central, and they were definitely part of the process, and they were also part of our strategic plan development. So we developed our own School of Business strategic plan that's aligned with the North Central strategic plan, NC Forward. Mm-hmm. And we have to involve the stakeholders. So this is business and alumni, students, faculty, staff, the community. So they were a big part of that as well.
And all of that really translates nicely, David, for I think about the current marketplace, if you will, for the college selection process. And you and I both know, everybody out there knows that in particular, parents, the adults in the lives of youth want to see their kids make a wise choice that is going to lead to something when they graduate, right? That's so much a part of the narrative. I just have to imagine, given the fact that outcomes matter, when a parent out there hears there's an advisory board, we're right in Naperville with an entire research corridor in our backyard. All of these business people are connected to the program. That just translates nicely. If a student comes here and commits to everything that's happening in the classroom and beyond, they are really well positioned for success, aren't they?
Definitely, and that's something we also want. Yeah, that's a big part of it. We want to show prospective students and their families that we are connected and we're thinking about their future. We want them to be successful in life, whatever they choose to do and want to do in life, or in careers. But we want to offer those pathways, opportunities, and its connections to organizations, and having guest speakers come to class, sometimes from the advisory board.
Yep.
They host events, networking events where meeting different people. So those are the things that it's important for prospective students. It's important for the families. The accreditation is definitely one additional thing that is a good signal that we're staying up to date on all of this, and we're continuing to look at this. This is not, and I just want to make sure when you achieve, people know that when you achieve initial accreditation, it doesn't stop there, and it's just done. This is an ongoing process. It just means that you're now at the level, and you just keep doing it. So we're continuing to look at all of these same things on an annual basis to make sure that we're doing the things that we need to do as a good business school.
Yeah, it's wonderful. What a wonderful year. What a wonderful spring. Congratulations, David, to you and your colleagues, and keep up the extraordinary work.
Oh, thank you, Jim.
So, David, on the podcast, we have some traditions.
Okay.
There's a couple of questions that we make sure we ask everybody. And so the first one is, what is your first memory of North Central College?
My first memory of North Central College was meeting David Gray, who is a professor of accounting at an Illinois CPA Society event in Chicago.
Nice.
And I wasn't on campus, but he was my first introduction to North Central College, and I think one of the best introductions I could have had. And he's still a faculty member in our accounting department, and just a leader, and has done so many wonderful things through the years.
Yeah, wonderful. Great example. So, David, in your time here, a couple of years, an awful lot has happened. You've seen an awful lot already. But I'm curious to know what has surprised you about North Central.
North Central is one of the things that I've had lots of surprises.
Some of them good, maybe. Some of them not.
No, lots of good surprises.
Sure.
Some people think North Central is a small school, and it is a small school from, like, when you look at numbers and things, but it's much bigger than, in terms of like physical layout. I forget how many, we have
70 acres, 44 buildings. Yeah.
The campus is so beautiful. I love walking around campus. So I don't know if that was when I interviewed, it was a beautiful campus, but I love the campus. And when I found that the campus is an arboretum, like a level 2 arboretum, that's one of those facts that I share quite a bit. So that was a little bit of a surprise to me, that I just like to get out and walk around campus. I knew about the strong athletic programs,
mm-hmm.
and I absolutely love it, but I didn't know exactly how great our athletic programs are.
Yeah.
And our Cardinal First program. I had no idea that we had this award-winning Cardinal First program. So things like that many schools say they do certain things well, like supporting the student athletes, supporting the first generation college students. But I've just been amazed by by those programs.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Wonderful, David. David, I want to give you an opportunity before we sign off to give shout outs. This is the moment where you can shout out however you wish. The floor is yours.
Oh yeah, I just want to give a shout out to the Dean's Council for School of Business and Entrepreneurship. This is the department chairs and program directors who make this happen, and this is Brian Hanlon, who's chair of the Management and Marketing Department, and Julie Nagashima, who's director of our Leadership, Ethics, and Values program, and Gwendolyn Tedeschi, who's our chair of Economics and Finance, but she's also our accreditation coordinator who helped make this AACSB accreditation happen, and Sarah Castelny, who is our chair of Accounting and our Assurance of Learning coordinator, who is actually currently presenting at a conference because she was invited to talk about our assurance of student learning.
Great. That's wonderful. Time goes fast.
Okay.
We've reached the end of our discussion, David. Believe it or not, I'm so grateful for your time. I know you have a busy schedule, but so great to hear you talk about everything that's happening in the School of Business and Entrepreneurship. Again, congratulations on such a wonderful achievement to earn the AACSB accreditation, and best wishes for your faculty and staff colleagues in the School of Business and Entrepreneurship.
Thank you, Jim. As you can tell, I love talking about this. So
the passion is right there, and I love it. It's why you're so good at what you do. So thank you for sharing that passion.
Oh, definitely. Thanks for having me.
This is episode 12 of 1861, the North Central College podcast. Once again, our special thanks to Dr. David Green, who is the Paleka-Thomson Dean for the School of Business and Entrepreneurship, and the successful achievement of the AACSB accreditation. Breaking news here this spring at the end of the academic year. Dr. David Green, thank you so very much for being with us today.
Oh, thank you.
And thank you to all of our listeners and viewers, whether you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcast or watching on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, you get to see the James L. Nichols book. What a relic that is. But we thank you, our listeners, for engaging in the stories about the people who make North Central what it is. Dr. David Green, no exception. So thank you to our listeners. Once again, this is 1861, the North Central College podcast. Thanks for listening.